Hello, this is Fasty Fausty here again, and today I want to talk about something new and innovative that's been hitting the market really hard lately. Though it's been out for a while, it seems to be a resurgence of how these guys are coming into the market, pretty much. And it's this guy right here. It's a 22 in a cutoff 223. They call it now the 22 TCM, made by Armscore USA. Now, Armscore is pretty much the same folks as Rock Island. And the reason why I say that is because Rock Island is the only company right now that makes guns for this particular caliber, the 22 TCM. I just recently acquired a 22 TCM. Beautiful piece of machine. Here it is. 1, 2, 3, not loaded, of course. You can take a look. Look at that. It's beautiful. 1911 format. I got this nice custom pack mirror, grip over here. A little heavy. And this particular model comes with the different barrels for 9mm and, of course, 22 TCM. But enough about this. I am here to talk about reloading the 22 TCM. So, how do we go about reloading the 22 TCM? Well, a lot of folks say, well, it's a little bit difficult to do, but they do sell the, they sell the bullets, they sell the brass, what they don't tell you specifically is what powder to use and what those charges are. So there's a lot of speculation, not speculation, but there's a lot of trial and errors out there. And I just figured out something that actually works for me and works really well. So I'm going to share that information with you today. And again, I am assuming that you know something about reloading. And I take no responsibility whatsoever if you blow yourself up. Just like I said on my 50 caliber Action Express video. The purpose of this is for you guys to know what I use and what actually works for me. And you can apply it any which way you want. So that's basically it. Let's begin. Okay, so let's begin. What do we have over here? Well, let's talk about the equipment, which is first and foremost the most important thing. And then I'll get into the other details. As you recognize this little setup over here, this is my lead turret press, except that this part up here is a little bit different than the one that I use for the 50 cal on my other video. This is my 50 cal setup that I have. I just replaced the entire portion up here and have my own little separate setup for the 22 TCM. Alright, where do we get 22 TCM material? Well, you can get these at AmmoSupplyWarehouse.com already, cleaned up, ready to go, and along with the 40 grain bullets, which are full metal jacket, 40 grains, hollow point. Yeah, pretty neat. And that's basically it. They sell everything there. They also sell, believe it or not, the dies by Hornady. They're expensive. They're like about 99 bucks, but you can get them. So there's some trickery that you have to know concerning these dies right here. So I'm just going to talk about these three right here. When you buy the kit, you only get 3 dies. They're assuming that you're going to load manually. But this is only 10 grains. You could probably figure out a way to load it automatically, right? And that's the setup that I have up here, and I'll get into that in a minute. Going back to what you can get from the Ammo Supply Warehouse is these dies right here. You got the capping die, and also this is the forming die, right? This guy right here, what it does is that it opens up the mouth, the case of the of your brass. So it kind of winds it up, it just widens it a little bit so it could accept better the powder feed, to feed it through, or in their case, they're thinking about, being able to seat the bullet a little bit better. Blah, 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 blah. And then over here, you have the seeder. The bullet seeder die and crimping die. I don't think it does a lot of crimping when you ask me, but with this caliber, it like I said, it just doesn't seem like it's necessary. But we'll give it a try. Let's see what happens. And this guy right here, the best kept secret. Now, the reason why I say it's the best kept secret is because you really cannot find a lot of information on how to have a setup where you can automatically feed the powder to the to the brass. Well, it's a little, kind of weird on how to get it, but you can't find it. It took me some time to get the information, but this is why I'm making the video so that everybody would know. This here is a 45 ACP expander powder feed through dye by Elite. Like 12 bucks, 15 bucks. But wait a minute, it's for 45 ACP. Ah, you're right, it is for 45. But what you can do is that, you see this little thing right here? This is called the 22 feeder tube. So when you go to the Elite website, you buy the 45 ACP expander feeder dye, and then you replace the feeder tube, which is for the 45, with a 22 feeder tube with $1.99. So you can get the whole setup mailed to you for 20 bucks. And if you're using a turret loader, everybody knows that you need to get the the riser, which is another $5.99, and then you could put up here your auto, the auto reloader, the auto powder loader. So the other thing that I also have over here is this guy over here. I'm not using a disc. I'm using the precision disc, which is really cool because it allows me to dial in precisely 10 grains. 10 grains of powder. I use little gun 10 grains, and on the Crony that gives me about the same speed as the factory rounds. Awesome! Without a lot of fireball, which is a lot of folks are using the 296 by Winchester and the Hodgdon H110. Well, and they go up to 10.5, 10.7, 10. Okay, it works. But you got a big fireball and you got a lot of residue all over the gun. It's really messy. I don't think that's the right powder. A lot of folks use it. It seems to work. Powder is available. If the powder is available, that's what you have to use and you use it. But I am using little gun at 10 grains, and boy, it works really great. And I use this to dial it down to exactly 10 grains. So here I'm using primers, small rifle primers. Some folks say, well, you could use small pistol primer. Well, in reality, we're looking at a case that is a sawed-off 223 rifle, and the manufacturer is stating that you're going to be getting rifle speeds out of a gun. I will stick with rifle small primers. Yeah, I think that works the best. They don't tell you what to use, but this particular cartridge, this portion right here, is exactly like a 223. Remember? 223, not 9. Even though the gun takes 9, no. 223. If this part right here, which is your cedar, right? You have to get it for 223 because 9 will pop out, and that's not a good thing. 223, okay? Small rifle primer. I use what I could find, and I found, let's see, small rifle primers by Winchester. Works great. Works really well. It's a really good thing. The other thing that we have to take a look at is, of course, be very careful with the dimensions of this bullet, the bullet height and the brass. So back to my little things that I have over here, or my little formulas. And out here I have, there's the 22 TCM. The bullet, 40 grain, available at Armor Supply, warehouse. And the powder, little gun, my charge weight right here, 10 grains, rifle, small rifle, and the overall length is 125. I like to say minus 1%. I don't want to say plus or minus 1%. I just say minus 1%. I like to keep it under 125. It just makes it a little bit easier for me. Make sure that it always batteries right. And the case is 1.02. Some of the manufacturer is 1.29, 103. Just keep it close to 1.02. Plus or minus, whatever you decide. I like to keep it there. Some folks, I also would, some of these you might have to, trim them. Just use a file. I haven't found a trimming tool on this part, so it is painstaking. But they say that once you fire it once and you trim it once, you don't have to do it again. I found that to be true only a couple of times. Very important that you trim it because then it won't battery in the chamber properly, and then it won't fire. It won't jam, but it just won't fire because the slide won't close up completely. This is kind of holding it up. There's a lot of tolerances in there, but again, just keep it around 102, whatever. Don't let it exceed 103. And use a pair of calibers to measure that. So that's basically it. Trying to give you as much information as I can, and this is my setup right here. And this is how I'm gonna go ahead and show you how I load one. And again, like I do before, I like to decap and clean, and then I proceed to over here. This guy, just goes in there like that. That opens up the case. Alright, this time you can do it twice, or you could just do this. There is the first one there, and that puts in the primer. With all primers, make sure that's nice and flat. That looks good, nice and flat. Alright, woohoo, terrific. Let's see what's next. Oh man, the powder thing, it works really cool, really well. I like it. And there we go, we got powder. I'm just taking it out. I don't have to take it out. Let me see if I can probably show you the powder in there. No, you can't see it. You don't have to take. I never take it out. I just wanted to show you that that's how simple it is. I can go ahead and make a whole bunch of these guys, rather quickly. So, unfortunately, because these guys are so small, you really gotta have good hands. You know what I'm saying? It's a bitch. It is. I'm sorry for the word, but it's just really, hard to get that bullet in there. And this goes in there and just a little bit. You don't want to push too hard. You don't want to do that. Why don't you want to do that? Well, guys, trial and error, because then you push too hard, you end up with one of these. That don't look very good. Yeah, guys, even I made a mistake thinking that put a little bit of muscle on it. Nope, it's a delicate case. I ruined a perfectly good case. And they don't come out very well. You spend like 10 minutes hammering on that bullet puller thing. You get one of these stuck in there and just forget about it. You're not going to get it out unless you destroy it. Or 15 minutes of banging the bullet puller. It's just bad. It's not heavy enough. That's the issue. But as you can see, we got one. Yee! Ready to go. Ready to rumble. That's simple. And that's basically it. So a little recap over here. I use little gun, 10 grains. I talked about the equipment. 223. That's the best. 223. You got to use that. That's what I recommend. And I like to touch it up here, make sure that it's nice and tight. And happy shooting. If you have any questions, this is Fasty Fausty on the equipment that I have. Just let me know and just leave a comment. Thank you and have a good night.